Welcome to class. We're focusing on our spine, our core, and our shoulders. These are all areas that are deeply affected when we're hiking, and so you can take the opportunity to get to know these poses better and work into strength. You also will just have the opportunity to get to know the poses, which you will see sprinkled into the strength sequence as well. Let's get started. Since I like to get core out of the way, let's start in plank pose. Bring your hands right underneath your shoulders, and feet are about hip width distance, and your hips are just below level with your shoulders. So what I mean is you don't really want any of the sagging stuff, which gets into your low back. And if you're hiking up, you're not really using your core in the way we're looking for. So bringing your hips just below level with shoulders. Squeeze your thigh muscles super strong and lift the front side of your pelvis up towards your ribs. You'll know if it's working, if it's getting harder to do it. Lift your chest long. Pull your shoulder blades down your back. So you're feeling your arm bones come right into shoulder sockets. And then the key is to keep breathing. So the practice here, you can hold it for 5 to 10 breaths, building your strength. If you're feeling super ambitious, you could actually set a timer for 60 seconds and see if you can actually hold your plank for that long. The key again is always really form, pulling your front ribs in towards each other, lengthening through your chest, squeeze your glutes, keep breathing really nice and deep. And then if you want to release, you can have your choice of the floor. I like downward facing dog. Lift your hips up towards the ceiling. And you're like, oh, that was a really good experience of strength in my belly. Lift your tailbone towards the sky. Our next core sequence is side plank. So you can bring your left knee underneath your hip and work into side plank, which is great and works into strengthening. The true strength comes in a full side plank. Extend your lower leg straight. Stack your right foot on top, flex your toes. Lift your chest forward and reach up through your upper hand. This one works all into your side obliques. It really also is great strengthening for your shoulder. Press into your hand to lift out of your shoulder. Pull your belly button up and in. Flex your toes and squeeze your thighs and reach up with your upper hand. And breathing deeply here. Stay here for 5 breaths. If you're feeling ambitious, you could go for 10 breaths. And over time, you can do other things with it. You can lift your foot up towards the ceiling, challenge yourself into different elements of your side oblique strength, and then come back through downward facing dog. And of course, because we like to even ourselves out, let's take it to the other side on your right hand. So feet together, roll to the outer edge of the other foot that you didn't finish up with, and reach your upper hand towards the ceiling. Flex your toes. So you're really in mountain pose here. Belly lifted up and in. Extend through your arms. Pull your shoulder blades into your back to lift your chest long. Extend through your upper hand. And I always like to practice perhaps having a little smile on my face when I'm working into a challenging pose. Breathing deeply. Oh. And then hands back to your mat and come back downward facing dog. Now we will work, I got core out of the way. Let's go into a spinal twist. Bring your feet together in our ever favorite chair pose. Lower your hips towards the floor. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Bring your hands together in front of your chest. Hook your left elbow outside your right knee. The key here is not letting your left knee pop forward, which turns your hips funky in funky directions, and pull your left knee even with your right knee so the twist comes fully from your spine. Press into your upper hand to lengthen your chest long, and you can look up towards the ceiling to challenge your balance here. And then the key, of course, is breathing deeply while you do this. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Spin your inner ankles towards the back of your mat, and then lower your hips even deeper. Lift your chest long. And fold forward. Shake your head out a little side to side. I'll spin around so we can do the other side. Chair pose. Hands to heart center. Hook your right elbow outside your left knee. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Check your knees so they're even. Stick your butt out behind you. Lift your chest long and lower your hips towards the floor. So yoga teachers are fond of saying if you lower your hips deeper, it'll be easier to get into the twist. And I'm sorry to say that is actually true. Lower your hips more, lift your chest long, and rotate up towards the ceiling. Still breathing deeply. And exhale, fold forward towards your feet. Oh, shake your head out. Shake your legs out. And come up to stand, and let's turn around one more time for core strengthening in our back, right? So our trunk, our core strengthening is not only the front section, but it's actually also into our back. So come to plank pose and lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Take your hands down by your hips, and we'll come into locust pose using a bind, which is a nice added opening into your chest. So press the tops of your feet into the floor, squeeze your thigh muscles, lift your chest, and lift your feet. Pull your shoulders into your back, so squeezing your legs really strong. Anchor in through your belly, lift your chest long, breathe here, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release gently to your mat and wiggle your hips a little bit side to side. And it's always nice after that to come back into a child's pose for a few breaths, releasing in your lower back, deepen into your breath. And then at the end of this, that's really the work you can do for your core, your spine, and your shoulders.